Hello and welcome to FI Spotlight. I'm your host, Susan Choi. Today we're talking about mushroom protein. In a time when health and wellness concerns are reigning supreme, mushrooms have been taking center stage for a while now. The global mushroom market size was valued at about 50 billion in 2022 and is expected to grow to roughly 113 billion in 2030. So what is the allure of this fungus? What are the benefits of this humble ingredient? Here now to share insights with us is 𝗟𝗲𝘂𝗃, co-founder of the Mushroom Angel Company. WE, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Susan. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
It is a pleasure having you. Okay, so WE, first of all, tell us about the Mushroom Angel Company. Tell us about what this business is.
Absolutely. So, Susan, more than a decade into our marriage and 3 children later, can you guess the number one thing that my husband and I would fight about most?
The laundry.
No, food. More than a decade into our marriage and 3 children later, the biggest fights were always centered around food. And we realized that it wasn't limited to our household, that there was actually a larger fight between processed foods and whole foods, even in the plant-based foods category. And so the Mushroom Angel Company is a consumer products goods company specializing in whole foods made from mushrooms. We give our customers an opportunity to be flexible with healthier food choices without sacrificing taste, texture, and time, the 3 nuances when it comes to healthier eating. And so we like to say that at the Mushroom Angel Company, our products cut and bite like meat, but taste like veggies. So we're based here at the iconic Eastern Market in Detroit. We sell online, in stores, and in restaurants. And we're really just committed to spreading the good gospel of mushrooms.
All right. Yeah, that's great. I like that. The good gospel of mushrooms. Tell me, WE, why mushrooms? Why have you chosen to focus on this particular ingredient, as a source for protein?
In all honesty, Dominique and I, my husband, who's also the co-founder of the Mushroom Company, we stumbled upon mushrooms. We were merely on a Daniel's fast where we removed meat and sugars from our diet. It was supposed to be for 21 days. We extended it. And it was in that fast that we were coming up with different ideas for different foods. And we used mushrooms. And in that instance, we came up with this mushroom burger. And so having come into mushrooms, we're now beginning to really learn about the nutritional values. But when we talk about mushrooms, we have to compartmentalize it, right? So there's nutritional value. Mushrooms are a good source. They're a good source of protein, not necessarily in the amount that you can get from legumes, but they have a good source of protein. They provide amino acids, fibers, and really give you a wholesome nutritional value to your diet, especially as it pertains to vitamin D. When mushrooms are exposed to sunlight, they can actually increase your vitamin D intake.
WE, I want to talk about sales in the plant-based sector overall. We've been seeing a lot of activity during the pandemic, but that's cooled off since then. From where you stand as a mushroom burger producer, what sorts of challenges have you had to face while growing your business, and how have you been able to navigate and overcome those challenges?
Great question, Susan. I think business owners in general deal with challenges of scaling operations on a day-to-day. And so we do have scaling production challenges. For example, when we had to move from our shared kitchen space to our dedicated facility, it created a halt in production while we got all of our commercial equipment situated and organized. And of course, supply chain management, sometimes you are working with a supplier and they no longer can supply ingredients, and of course, marketing and consumer education. But I think the reason why Dominique and I are so poised for success is because we've anchored our business in mushrooms. We're very mushroom forward. We're not trying to be something that we're just not. We often say that our products cut and bite like meat, but taste like veggies. And we're very serious about that. We are offering you a better veggie product. We're not looking to create something that is not meat. We're not concerned really about the trends going up or down, because mushrooms have been around for a very long time, and the products we produce are for vegans as much as they are for meat lovers who love steak with mushrooms. And so we have a wide variety of customers, and I think that's allowing us to really navigate some of the trends that come and go within the plant-based food category.
Right. I like what you said about how you're mushroom forward facing. You're not trying to disguise the
Yeah.
ingredient or the product. You are putting it center stage, educating people on the benefits of mushrooms. It leads me to my final question. WE, let's talk about another cause that's near and dear to your heart. You want to specifically advocate within the African American community in particular about mushrooms as an alternative source of protein, about alternative proteins. Can you tell us more about your passion for this particular cause?
Absolutely. I think Dominique and I don't take it lightly that we're originally from the East Coast and that we were moved here, for us by faith, to Detroit, Michigan, and to build a wholesome foods company focused on mushrooms in a city that has the narrative of being a food desert and dealing with lots of food insecurity, I think is part of our assignment is to show that we can actually shift that narrative from being a food desert to a perhaps a dessert of food miracles where wholesome foods can be produced and created right here in the city of Detroit. And so for us, when we look at African Americans, they often face a lot of deficiencies, dealing with nutrients. And one of them is vitamin D. And we know that when mushrooms absorb sunlight, it could help increase the vitamin D intake of those who consume it. And so for us, it's a wholesome approach to impacting locally, our community, but also impacting those beyond our proximity. And that's why Dominique and I are very committed to continuing to build here in Detroit, Michigan, and become an example of what's possible. That Food Miracles is not only available to those with resources and access, but it's available to everyone who's just committed to a healthier food choices.
All right, I love to hear that. W.E. 𝗂𝗃, co-founder of the Mushroom Angel Company. W.E., thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Susan, for having us.
And you can check out all of the great content that we've done by clicking on this playlist. Till next time, I'm Susan Choi. Take care.